Hey guys, Coach Alex here from FastFitnessTips. I'm here to talk about the new release today of the Fitbit Charge 3, a hugely important watch for Fitbit. Fitbit as a company, I can tell you right now, are only just holding on. They're only just holding on in the wearables market despite having been the number one through 2015, early 2016. Their sales are down about 20% year on year. If you look at Apple in the wearables market, they're up about 60%, and the Apple Watch is outselling Fitbit about 3-2. So I'm here to give you the top 10 best things and the top 10 worst things about the Fitbit Charge 3 as I see it. So my mom told me never to say something bad unless you got something good to say as well. So let's start with the good. Let's start with the good and let's start at number 10. Number 10 is the price is very competitive. Really cheap compared to the iWatch Series 3. We're talking about $150 in the US and around £129 in the UK, which is actually down on the Fitbit Charge 2, which is an indication that as a company, to be honest, that they are struggling. In my experience, if ever a company brings out a product which is better yet cheaper, it shows they're really getting aggressive with that product marketing, and it probably tells you that they're struggling behind the scenes. But for sure, no one's complaining if they're bringing the price down, right? Number 9, it's been restyled. It looks sharper. There's a nice graphite look. There's sports bands, woven bands, premier leather bands. There's more bands than ever before. So the look of this device is a little bit sharper. I'd like to see it thinner. I'd like to see it much lighter, but as it stands, it's 20% lighter compared to the Charge 2, which was no monster in the weight arena. But for anyone running or cycling long distance with this, bringing that weight down is definitely a good thing. Number 8, there's going to be a new personalized on-device dashboard, i.e. not just on the app, but on your wrist. It's got a new display, we're coming to that in a second, but the new on-device dashboard is going to show you stats in a more sensible, clear way. Number 7, and this is new, you're going to have settable goals like countdown goals, like more flexible exercise goals, not just in cycling, swimming, running, but also weights, yoga. And perhaps you'll be able to set goals on calorie, time, and distance, which will be awesome. We haven't seen this before. Number 6, and in truth, this is a big one. I'd put this right at the top if they had this working now. But are we finally going to see use of that oxygenation sensor, that SpO2 sensor that's been promised for a long time? Yes, I know it's already come out on the Versa and Iconic. Well, when I say come out, promised, we haven't actually seen it. But if finally Fitbit get their act together, we should see some exciting stuff on sleep measurement, possibly even, let's put this in quotes now, diagnosis, end quotes, of sleep apnea, and a whole host of new health features that could feature blood oxygenation for the first time. Related to this, in at number 5, I'm going to put the improvements in sleep tracking. So what we're going to see is the improvements that we are promised from the Ionic, basically sleep stages, more sophisticated algorithms. You're going to be able to opt into this with a beta program very soon. Because as healthy people, we all know, don't we, that a good night's sleep is key to the following day's physical and mental health. In at number 4 is the much improved touchscreen, which has several new features. For a start, it's larger and it's also brighter by about 40%. They've used an OLED touchscreen with a grayscale surface, which apparently allows you to view this in bright sunlight. In addition to this, it's pretty tough, made from Gorilla Glass 3, and it's basically got larger real estate, so you can see more at the same time whilst you're working out. Number 3 are the software updates. Now we're promised a lot of software updates here. Most of them are coming from Fitbit themselves, like a weather app, calendar app, more flexibility on timers and alarms. You'd also be able to do replies, quick replies from Android phones. And perhaps there's going to be tie-ins with third parties, i.e. third-party notification and reply. And also a payment system, let's not forget that. That's Fitbit's own payment system that's going to work if you buy the enhanced payment version of this watch. Number 2, and I admit other Fitbit users have already had this, but finally on the Charge, we see swim-proof up to 50 meters, yay! So you can finally go in the pool officially. You can finally stay in the shower, or you can swim in the sea. Yes, they allow you to swim in the sea with your Fitbit Charge 3. You can swim in the sea up to 50 meters, and that's up from the previous version, which was water resistant. And the way they've done that is to improve the water resistance of the casing with a haptic touch button removing those physical buttons from the previous version. So here we are, my choice for the number one feature for the Charge 3 is the enhanced battery life. The enhanced battery life is up from 5 days. Let's be honest, the Charge 2's battery life was no slouch. It was one of the best features, the best enhancements over the original Charge 1. But now we're promised 7 days of continual usage, which, let's be honest, that is damn good for battery life. Well done, Fitbit, for stepping up your game here. There's nothing worse than trying to do an activity, looking at your watch and finding your battery life is at near zero. Alright, that's the top 10 good things out of the way. Let's do the top 10 bad things now. At number 10, I don't like the way the interface is basically the same, i.e. since Charge 2 came out, we've basically seen the same old look in the app the whole time, and I think it's getting a bit old. Come on, Fitbit, up your game here. Let's see a new version of the app. Even better, give us several screens that we can choose. Why can't we have 5 new looks, 10 new looks that we can choose? Why lock us into 1 or 2 restricted versions? Number 9, having used the Charge 2 day in, day out for more than a year, I can honestly say that sometimes the step accuracy or calorie accuracy is suspect. And that's particularly the case if you're a non-runner. If you're a cyclist, or if you're a swimmer, or if you're a triathlete, then sometimes the monitoring is suspect, especially if you don't tie it to GPS on your phone. Although one little tip for you guys that I've found is if you put it in elliptical mode during some cycling events, it seems to be more sensitive whilst you're wearing it. But I wouldn't recommend that for everyone because it kind of ruins what it says you've done on the app. Number 8, maybe I shouldn't complain because it just got launched today, but it's only coming out in 2 core colors, i.e. rose gold, which was an exclusive color back in the day, and also black. Graphite. Actually, the black does look quite nice. So even though this is a slight limitation, I'm sure we'll see more colors down the line. I think there's a limited number of colors at launch. Number 7, and this is a perennial complaint of mine against all fitness devices, not just Fitbit, and that is how many times you've been in the position where you've gone to the gym and you've forgotten your Fitbit, you get back home and you want to just put a quick entry on there. There's no easy way to make a manual entry. I understand why they may restrict this because they don't want people cheating and putting crazy entries, but Strava, for example, lets you put a manual entry after the date, and I think it would be reasonable within certain parameters, like under 10,000 steps, let's say, to be able to make a manual entry after the date has gone. Alright, I'm going to leave that one there. Number 6, and this happens to me all the time, I do a workout, I do a run, I do a cycle, and it's immediately after I press the pause, I want to see my results on my wrist. I don't necessarily want to get out my phone, go into the app and read all the data, which is available there, I have to admit, but I want to see the data on the wrist. And it's hugely annoying after you complete a workout, the data on your wrist disappears in about 0.5 of a second. This is one area crying out for a software update. Number 5, and I'm not just leveling this at Fitbit, but Fitbit could do better here, and that is the way it allows you to record calories in, i.e. calories consumed. Now they do have a huge database and you can look up what you're eating and match it against the database. But come on guys, in 2018 there must be an easier way to auto recognize what you're eating. Maybe by some kind of tie up with your smartphone so you can take a picture and get that meal recognized, like with 90% accuracy or something like that. That would be my most wanted feature right now. Number 4 of my complaints, and I've done a video previously just on this, is that heart rate may be inaccurate. Now this is probably related to the way that all wrist-based wearables collect their data, but we know for a fact now that wrist-based monitoring is not hugely accurate compared to, let's say, a heart rate strap, and that's particularly the case if you want to get your baseline heart rate, i.e. resting heart rate, although to be truthful, I sometimes have problems with both maximum and minimum heart rate when recorded with a wrist-based monitor. Number 3, and I've been waiting for this forever and it's never come in, and that is I want some kind of improvement to the daily or weekly challenges. Not the same boring step challenges, weekday warrior, whatever it is. I want to see challenges on calories, or challenges on flights, or challenges on sleep, for example. Why can't we use all the features for challenges rather than the same boring 2 challenges week in and week out? Come on guys, I mustn't be the only one that's bored of the Fitbit challenges by now. In at number 2, and I'm talking about a pretty serious problem here, Fitbit is really precious about its data. You know, the software and the data is extremely locked, if you like, into these devices, and there's no way to easily export it like to one of the popular analysis programs. And this doesn't just apply to data, it applies to apps. And my concern is that they're advertising marketing for this Charge 3 and it's going to work with lots of apps basically only means its own apps. We've yet to see a single app made by an external company that works with Fitbit on any device, have we? This is what Fitbit's crying out for. They need to open up their standard somewhat and stop being scaredy cats that somebody's going to break, steal or damage their data. Yes, I know they've got 150 trillion steps in the database and 500 million minutes of exercise from 25 to 35 million active users, but come on guys, we need to leverage this for the benefit of the whole community, and that means opening up your standard a little bit more in my opinion. Okay, we're at number 1, and the number 1 complaint about this device is, I think you already know, there's no GPS. Now I'd have to admit there is a benefit of having no GPS, maybe on battery life, because if you run the Ionic with GPS on, it lasts 10 hours, maybe even less if you're running GPS continuously. So there is a benefit, probably on price, probably on size, probably on battery life, but still it is disappointing because I end up wearing sometimes 2 devices, sometimes 3, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I haven't found one device that covers all my bases, and I do like a lot of the features about Fitbit. I like the tracking of steps, I like the tracking of flights or stairs. Those appeal to me. I like the app, I like the software fundamentally. Fitbit is basically a very user-friendly device, but shall we say their mid-price product doesn't have GPS. Now I'm fully aware they wouldn't want to release GPS when the high-price product Ionic has GPS as a headline feature. Obviously they'd be undermining the sales of the Ionic if the sales of the Ionic are particularly good, which I doubt. See, it turns out that the Charge represents probably at least 50% of all of their sales. The Charge is probably their most important number 1 product, which is why I come back to this idea that the Charge 3 could be the most important make or break fitness device that Fitbit have ever released. So what do you think, guys? Tell me what you think the Fitbit Charge 3 should have, or what you'd like to see in the future. And do you think the Charge 3 is worth it at the price? Are there enough enhancements to the Charge 2 that would make you want to buy the Charge 3 if you're already a Charge HR or if you're a Charge 2 owner? Alright guys, that's my rundown of the top 10 best and the top 10 worst features of the Charge 3. Thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to give me a like or share if you think we've done something useful here, and if you can, check out our Patreon site. Until next time guys, have a great workout and thanks for watching.